Okay. Talk to me a little bit about what you guys have done since the last session in terms of research, preparation, practice, downloading, video watching. Hang on one second. Hey, hop on. Right. Okay. Talk to me a little bit about what you have learned over the last week or so that you can be a better attractor. It's okay, we're not expecting you to be perfect, but I am going to ask you to improve every day. So what have we done to equip ourselves with more confidence or more information?
So mostly I've chosen 2 scripts to use, and I've been practicing those scripts. I still the first phone call I have to call somebody that is not my first choice so that I can warm up, because I don't seem to it takes me a little bit of time to start getting more confident. So and that's just role playing practice. So I'm trying to do that more.
Okay, so who are you role playing with?
Well, right now myself, Justin and I are supposed to, but we haven't been able to meet. But so I just practice my scripts in my office before I make the calls. And I've heard enough of the objections that we've got the objection handlers in the scripts, so practicing those as well. And I'm starting to get less. When I first started, it was the minute they put up an objection, I'd be like, okay, thank you, bye. But now I'm asking at least one more question. So I'm getting braver at it, which I feel good about.
Okay, beautiful. So talk to me a little bit about, so just for housekeeping purposes, are each one of you enrolled in recruiting, Rockstar Recruiting with, what's his name?
Rich.
Rich.
Are you enrolled in that? Justin?
Yeah,
Greg?
I am. Yes. Yes.
Okay, are you giving it all you got? Are you attending every session? Are you writing down the scripts? Are you committed?
I attended the last one,
play
but
with
it was
your
just
role play partner?
watching a blank screen and people trying to talk, but nobody was talking. So I jumped off it. But Candace, you were on that one, right?
I was. And what I determined is that just like we use a daily success tracker, I needed to plan the day. I need to plan the day before who I'm going to call. And so I've got all the names of the people that I'm going to call today. And I know how many transactions they've done. I've looked them up in FMLS on cross property, and I've looked them up online to find out a little bit about them. So I feel really prepared for today's call. And hopefully one of them will answer the phone or more. But I've got about 10 different names of people that I want to call today.
Can I coach you on that?
Yes, please.
Too much research.
Okay.
You're researching yourself silly. 90% of them aren't even going to answer the phone. All that stuff is wasted.
Okay.
They got a real estate license and they're a half capper, they're freaking broke and they want to sell more homes.
Okay.
All we need to do is give them some more information. We don't need to know where they went to college or what they studied or any of that crap. We just need to figure out what is bothering them. I'm not trying, I know I just came off really harsh, but it's not important.
Okay.
I will admit, I kind of like looking at the person when I'm calling them. So I'll Google the person's name as the phone is ringing. And oftentimes I'll see a picture of them. And if I see them and I know what they make, I know what their problem is. So I'm just gonna say the script, and you know, would I lose the opportunity to say, oh, you went to Auburn, I went to Auburn? Maybe, but it's not about me, it's about them. Right. So I'm just asking enough questions to figure out what in their business they're struggling with, so I can identify what it is I'm going to do to fix it. So if you're not able to attend, or there was a tech glitch or something like that, I want to make sure that everyone's going back, because we're paying several $100s for that class. I want to make sure everyone is printing out the material and really giving it their all. They're super, I mean, we bought it for you in exchange for the commitment, right? Okay, So isn't there some type of practice thing going on at 11:30 every Thursday?
Yes.
All right, what is that? Tell me about that.
It's a Zoom call. Rich listens in. He asks us to unmute ourselves if we get someone on the line that we're talking to. He listens in, and then after we hang up, he asks us about it and coaches us about it. Then at 1:30 this week, there is a training call, 1:30 to 2:30 with him, where he talks more, and that's frequently. I don't know the pattern of that, if that's every week. It wasn't last week. But this week, there from 1:30 to 2:30, there's a training call after we do our live recruiting call.
Well, last week they did the live calls, but nobody was making live calls, and so they canceled it because this is like 2 weeks in a row where nobody was making calls.
What does that tell you, Justin?
Well, everybody's looking to watch and model someone because everyone's like, never done this before. I would like to watch someone do it, and then they don't have anyone doing it, which tells me, Rich, I'm not trying to blame anyone here. Rich should be making calls. Like the people here are wanting to watch someone do it so they get the confidence and see the objections and all that, which is stupid. They should just do it because you're going to learn.
Are you just doing it?
No, because no.
Why not?
Because I had an open window of 3 weeks to make the calls. And I've missed the opportunity, so I've got 5 days to catch up, and then I'm going to get right back into it.
Okay. What I think is, all right, I'm gonna probably hurt somebody's feelings here.
No, go ahead, say it.
The chat is full of resources to either learn more about Keller Williams, learn more about profit share, or listen to a call session and kind of my analysis and kind of walk through of how some of these calls go. We've had 4 or 5 training sessions where we're learning, how everything's calculated and some of the scripts and dialogues and kind of framework for the conversations. I want to make sure that everyone's giving it their attention, right? This could be incredibly lucrative. The biggest observation that I have from what you just said, Justin, is that even the people that are willing to pay for the class aren't committed. Because if they were, they would have called up what's his face and been like, that's 2 weeks in a row, you're making calls. Enough of this crap. I'm paying to see the calls. Somebody make the calls.
That's
right?
what I don't understand, because when I sit there and I have someone that makes calls with me, the first thing I do is like, hey, you're going to watch me. I don't care how much experience you have. We got a way that we do this. It works. There are other ways. Once you watch me do it, then let's have a conversation of why this would or wouldn't work for you. And let's find a way. And then I'm going to watch you. Like, to me, that just is 101 onboarding. And I'm just a little confused why that's missed by so many people. Well, everybody.
Okay.
I mean, for the first week that I was absolutely time blocked for this, even our own group completely missed it. And then I got COVID for 2 weeks, and then I was behind for a week. And now I'm playing catch up, and I'm just embarrassed, deeply embarrassed, because I was like, man, I had a window here. And I even went to Aubrey and I said, Aubrey, I just need 20 minutes of your time. Just sit down, tell me the common objections, make a phone call in front of me. Let's do some normal onboarding. Like, I understand I have experience. I don't have experience recruiting. So I don't have a problem with objections. I do have a problem with the process. So just somebody.
Okay, so the
I don't
biggest,
care if
it
it's
sounds
Rich.
like
I
the
don't care
biggest,
who it is.
it sounds like the biggest issue is you want to see more, you want to see calls happen. Is that right?
Oh, I would love that. I would love that. And I mentioned it weeks ago, both to you and Aubrey, and you got them out like 2 weeks later, which was awesome. It was really, really awesome to listen to those. And I had a window and I missed it, and we'll get right back into it though, because I am so excited about this opportunity. But
all right,
let's
quit talking about the past. Quit talking about
know.
the past. Today we're here. We're going to
Yep.
learn how to do it. We're going to focus on doing it. Okay?
Absolutely. So correct me if I'm wrong. This is a very lucrative opportunity, and it starts paying in 3 to 6 months, because it's really, you don't get paid anything on
when you bring somebody to the company and they then have a transaction that yields company dollar, let's say that deal closes in September, you would get profit share October the 21st. So the following month on the 21st.
Right. So we're talking about a minimum 4 weeks, right?
Minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Okay.
It's probably going to be a little longer than that.
Okay.
I don't want you to think of this as like, this is income that I'm going to use to pay my bills. Okay.
No, I know, but that's why I'm behind for the next 5 to 7 days, because I have this log of people I'm supposed to be calling, and I had a window, and I'm not wanting to dwell on the past, but I had a window, missed it. Who cares about the past? But now I've got to get those bills paid, and this opportunity in front of us is extremely exciting. It's one of the most exciting things, I think, for me. I don't really enjoy working with sellers and buyers. This is something I really am going to get excited about. But it's not today money, so I'm trying to play catch up. So long story short, I would love to see as many people's recorded calls as possible. I tried recording my own, and it didn't, for some reason, the recording function didn't work. Because I sent one to Robin a week or two ago, mid-capper.
Okay, good. So did you update that spreadsheet on the Google, or I'm sorry, on the Roswell growth team spreadsheet?
No, I need to.
Okay.
I need a tracker.
I'm expecting this group to be perfect at that. Perfect at that. Every single time you book an appointment, it needs to go on that sheet. Every time they are held, it needs to be updated. It's just like buyers and sellers. If you don't track this stuff, you're gonna miss out. You're gonna lose. Something's gonna slip through the cracks. And these are incredibly lucrative people. Okay. Make sense?
Absolutely. Let me see if I can.
You guys want to hear? I mean, I haven't done any calls today, but would you like to see if I can find somebody today?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the script that you would like me to use?
Congratulations on your production.
Okay. And then
Yeah,
what?
but that one kind of requires broker metrics, doesn't it? Or are you just simplifying it to say, yeah, so you did 3 deals a year. Just keep it simple. Who cares about broker metrics? Because that's part of one of the scripts is the broker metrics, but we don't have that. So just keeping it super simple, you would say, congratulations, your production. I see you've done 4 deals.
And then what?
Is that what you're saying, Candace?
Well, you know, I actually, because I look them up in FMLS, I can see them in broker metrics, but it's not always quite accurate. Broker, you know, I'm surprised that yesterday I was looking up all these agents, and some of them had 1 deal in January and nothing since in FMLS. It doesn't mean they haven't had deals, because they could do new construction, but the one I'm using is hey, this is Candace Story with Keller Williams. I wanted to call because I saw that your production is doing really well. Hey, are you on track for what you want to do? And how do you feel your business is? Just wanted to check in with you. And then typically there's the value propositions that Rich gave us. So if they've done like
Okay,
5
okay.
transactions.
Take a picture of that and post it in the Roswell group, please.
Okay.
This is in the Roswell group, right?
Or in the Roswell training, in this group.
Growth group. Okay. So I talked to somebody yesterday, and she had done 9 transactions, and I said, it sounds like, I said, are you on track to do more for next year? And she said, oh, I don't know. You know, she didn't know her numbers. And so I said, well, it sounds like you might need some systems or tools. And I said, why don't we do a business planning session for you? And so she's on the calendar for October 4th.
That's how simple it is, guys. That's seriously how simple it is.
And that was one yes in the face of about 4 no's of the people I called, and then a bunch of no answers. So.
Okay, that's how it happens, right? So if I've got, let's say you're calling somebody who's done 3 or 4 deals, I can make you one promise, absolutely 1000% true. When they decided they wanted to be a real estate agent, they expected to do more transactions. And more than likely, they're either disappointed in themselves, disappointed in their broker, or they're considering leaving the business because they're not making the money, right? And we see this, unfortunately, we see this with a lot of women in particular, is oftentimes their husbands aren't that supportive, right? And they're like, hey, you got this hobby. When are you going to get rid of this hobby? Right. And so they're looking for somebody like you to give them the confidence and the faith and hold their hand to say, hey, it does not have to be the way that it is right now. Right? What's the thing that you're struggling with the most? Okay, so Candace, if you could post that
Yep.
value proposition on, that'd be awesome.
I'm
So
doing it right
Candace,
now.
yours is just yours is larger. Bill sent one a week ago, but his is the up and right position, so the writing is smaller. Isn't it the same thing? You just have a really nice big version of it.
This is the one that was on the, this was in the chat on Rich's call last week.
Okay, but it's talking about advanced education, coaching and consulting,
Yes,
technology.
exactly.
Yeah, so Bill sent that in an attachment, about 5-8 messages up, but it's not as large as yours. Yours is, if you're going to hang it on the wall, yours is a better version.
Can you take a picture of it? I want to look at it.
I'm doing it right now. Okay, there it goes.
So,
It's not very clear because I blew it up, so I apologize. It's blurry, but it's because I took a picture and then blew it up, so it's a little blurry. But it's trying to figure out where the agent is in their journey and then plugging them into whatever that value proposition is.
Yeah. Some of that stuff is good. I will say that, but I think that's even more detailed sometimes than we need to get.
yes.
We got to figure out what their problem is, right? So you would say something like, if you look in the script book that I shared with you guys, it says something to the effect of, hang on, one. Okay, so do you guys have this page right here that is pain versus pleasure for market share appointments? These pages right here, it's included in the script book that I have posted on the page. Do you guys have that?
Yeah, probably do.
Okay, that should be in front of you all the time. And I want you to read these questions 3 trillion times if necessary, because you're going to ask the same things over and over and over and over again. Right? So for example, let's say I was calling Candace and she was a 4-unit person. I said, hey, Candace, this is Bill Linkwald with Keller Williams. I was just reaching out to some local agents today. I was looking over some numbers and I see that you're number 17 there at the corporate Metro Broker's office. Congratulations. Right? So I just wanted to start off by congratulating you. And they're like, oh, I didn't realize that. And you're like, wait, nobody told you that? Right? You're creating doubt right away. So, hey, this time of year, our agents oftentimes are making the final tweaks to their 4th quarter activities so that they can make sure they finish the year strong and building their business plan for next year to make sure that they hit their goals. How is that planning going for you? Right? And they'll say, oh, well, I didn't really have that many goals, this year or whatever. Or no, I wanted to sell 20 homes and I've only sold 4. Great. What's the thing you're struggling with the most right now? Right? And they say, oh, my buyers are having a hard time winning the multiple offers, situations. Say, great. Well, we have a couple of leaders at our office that work with our agents of all experience levels to help them understand, to help their buyers win multiple offer situations. In fact, I have one of their calendars pulled up right now, and it looks like they have an opening for an hour Thursday at 4 o'clock. Could that work for you? In person, Zoom, whatever's most, easiest for you. Well, yeah, boom, 1 appointment set. Go play tennis. See what I'm saying? If you guys set 1 appointment a day, you're gonna be rich. You follow that? So you don't have to go into, what's your economic model and all that kind of stuff. You might if they have some sophistication in their answers, but, I don't think we need to get into like the Keller mortgage discussions and all that, right? You could say something to the effect of, I'd like to send you a calendar for this upcoming month's, training events. And, if you see anything on there that catches your eye, I'd love to have you as a guest. I'll meet you there, right? We can go to it together. You could say, this environment of productivity. So generally they're going to start complaining about something. And then you could say something like, so, tell me you're not really working off a business plan, or you're not on track to hit your goals. So what is your coach or your broker doing to make sure to help you get back on track? And most likely their broker's not doing anything and they don't have a coach. But we're assuming that they have a coach because they're a business owner, and all business owners need a coach, right? And if they don't have a coach, then they probably should, or their broker should have told them they needed a coach, or the broker should have been the coach, right? So as soon as possible, we want to create a gap from where they are to where they want it to be. The gap is generally going to sound a lot like, I'm off track, my income is down, I don't have any active listings, I don't have a business plan, I'm not in a productivity centered environment, I don't have support from my broker, these kind of things, right? If you look through this script, it just has a ton of questions that you would ask that are, what were your goals? Why were those goals important to you? Where are you now? Right? What types of things have you tried to close the gap? Well, I haven't really tried, much at all. I did like an open house here and there. And I posted a Facebook message 6 months ago, but, I just haven't got any traction. Great. We talk, we have an incredible productivity coaching program, right? With a really handsome productivity coach, right? And just want to make sure you guys are paying attention.
Oh, I was.
Okay. We have a great productivity coaching.
Own it, Bill. Own it.
Yeah, seriously, right? Okay, so we have a great productivity coaching program at our office, and we're seeing agents get into production really quickly and have fun while they're doing it, right? And we allow for agents to audit that. I'm sure you could pick up a strategy or a tip instantly, right? Could I send you the link so you could join tomorrow? No obligation. Okay, so we can invite them to a PC session. Okay, the calendar will probably come out a little bit later today, and we'll be able to identify a couple of big classes that you can pitch to them. Hey, wanted to let you know, we're having a national trainer come to our market center and to our area to teach a course called Bold, Business Objectives, A Life by Design. Okay, and what we know from our research is that the average agent that completes Bold will add 8 transactions to their business. Would 8 transactions added to your business right now be helpful for you? Well, of course. Okay, so I'd love to invite you to the first session. It's completely free. I'll be there. I'll get a chance to shake your hand and we can get to know each other. You can even sit next to me if you want. And I'm absolutely confident that you will take away something from that class, and there's no obligation or cost or fee or anything. Would you be my guest? Okay, great. Let me make sure I get your email and your telephone number, and I'll get you the invite right away. Right. So the question is what are the carrots, right? And then can you match up the carrot to their problem, right? So we also have Gene Rivers. Gene Rivers is doing a session on the 20th and 21st of October on business planning. I would be sending every single person in the universe to that class.
The link for that is in the official KWU Facebook group.
Bill, you and I have had conversations about this past, but with sellers, but in a way, an agent's going to be similar to a seller. I always find, yes, you're going to have more success in the face-to-face, but if you've had enough experience, there's some face-to-face appointments you don't want. And I understand that's not
Your job is to not make the appointment, or your job is to not go on the appointment. Your job is to set the appointment.
Yeah, exactly. But
You might never meet these people until they come into the office after having signed.
so I've been in an ISA and I've been in a production, and it's interesting when you're just trying to get the agent's foot in the door versus when you're in production and you get your foot in the door and you come back to the ISA and you say, that was a horrible appointment. You just wasted 3 hours of my day. And there's always that tension where it's trying to get your foot in the door and set an appointment, but you're trying to create a quality appointment.
The quality appointment is vocal, or getting them to vocalize why the class is relevant to them. You said you have a problem with listings. I'm sending you to a listings class, right? Or you said you have a problem with your business plan. I'm connecting you with our co-team leader so that they can help you build a business plan. Would that be valuable to you? Yes. Okay, great. So I'm going to send a 3-way email or a 3-way text with you guys to introduce Aubrey to you and you to Aubrey or Robin or whoever, you know, and they're going to be taking time out of their calendar to spend with you. Is there anything that could possibly come up that would cause you to miss this appointment? Because it's that important. You see what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. I'm just
the appointment.
right. So it's interesting. These walls are paper thin, so I get to hear lots of stuff. I'm sure, Candace, you can probably hear me.
I sometimes hear Robin.
Yes. So I get to hear conversations that happen all day, every day, right behind me, and they're fascinating. And you can hear there's an objection where they're going to hang up the phone and the person doesn't let them off the phone and asks another question. And you just get to keep them talking. But at some point, when do you hang up on the person because they're just wasting your time?
I think you just got to get some experience with that. I mean, once you feel like you're spinning your wheels, then you could probably bail, right? But if you have questions like in your back pocket, you know, what's keeping you from your goals? How many hours a week are you working in your business, right? Give me an idea of how you time block your schedule on a daily basis. And they'll be like, what's time blocking? Be like, oh my gosh, we need to meet like today. If I can help you put a couple of structures into your business, you will make more money and save more time. You do want to make more money and save more time, yes? Yes, okay. Can you come into my office in like 10 minutes because we got to help you immediately, right? Do you run a P&L for your business? How many people are you adding to your database daily? Are you generating enough leads? Are you generating enough leads? What were you going to say, Justin?
I guess what I'm getting at is, Candace, you were mentioning that they would give you an objection and you would say thanks and hang up and move on. But now you're asking one more question and you're getting better results.
Exactly.
So that's what I find so interesting, because it's like, I feel like people will give you multiple opportunities to close them if you keep them talking.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I'm saying, is like those recorded calls for me are so helpful, because there's always that. I was listening to Tony Robbins recently, and he was talking about that belief system where there's, you're never going to get results unless if you take massive action. Well, even if you take massive action, you're never going to succeed if you don't believe in what you're taking massive action. There's got to be this, like, I know I'm going to close 1 out of 5 people. I know this is helpful for the other person. I know,
that's the wrong approach. That's the wrong approach. What you need to know is that there ain't a better place to run your business than Keller Williams.
Right. But that comes across in your voice. There's a call cadence.
So you got to commit yourself to knowing that, right? The more powerful you feel about that, the more it will come across in your voice, because you are just almost begging them to be open-minded for 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
That's basically what it is.
Because listening to your calls, that was the most helpful thing when I forget which call it was. This was probably 3 weeks ago. There was a recorded call and she flat out said no. And you asked another question. It wasn't forceful, that whole exchange there. And then you got an appointment out of it. And she said no in the beginning.
Yeah.
That was extremely helpful to hear that whole flow.
Okay, so do you want to role play while my thing is popping up, and then I'll make some calls in front of you guys?
Yes. So here's This is the last, well, this is just the last script that I did. Not the script, that's the results.
Okay, great.
And I don't know how to close that person because I got them talking a lot. So I need to get
What
better
were they
at
talking
getting them.
about?
Justin's coming in your office.
Well, so I need to record these better in the spreadsheet. So that was my notes for the first appointment.
Okay, so this is a local agent that you
Who claims to
introduced
do, who claims to do 5 to 8 deals a year. Looking at that script, well, it wasn't even a script. She just kept saying, no, she's not interested in Harry Norman will do everything for her. And I said, I don't know anything about Harry Norman. So I just kept talking about, well, it sounds like you clearly are not hitting your own goals. You've told me that a dozen times now in 5 minutes. So why don't you come in for a complimentary coaching session? And she's like what you said, her husband has been nagging her saying, you're a phenomenal salesperson. Why are you, lack of better words, sucking at real estate?
Yep.
And
what did
there's
she say?
some very deep pain in her voice. I mean, she was talking about how she went into debt and now she's out of debt. Now she had to go back into her other job and she's an expert salesperson and she's owned businesses and she knows how to delegate. And I said, there was a missing piece somewhere. I don't know what it is, but why don't you come in for a coaching session? They'll help you identify and fix it. Harry Norman's sounds like they've had opportunities to do that and they haven't. So it's complimentary, no strings attached.
Don't make that assumption. Just say, hey, it sounds like what you're telling me is that there's a gap between what you want and what you're currently getting, right? So if you were to change 3 things at your current brokerage or in your current business, and you could wave a magic wand and snap your fingers and they would be changed, what are those? What are those 3 things? That's another way of asking, tell me the 3 things that piss you off the most about where you're at, right? And then you can tell whoever's meeting with them, Robin or me or Aubrey or whoever, hey, they're really pissed that they, don't cash the checks fast enough, or, they've got this antiquated website, or they're not embracing technology or whatever. Don't say it sounds like your broker isn't doing what they need to do. You want them to say that.
No,
Right.
they basically said that they are not hitting their goals. And I said, well, what's your coach doing about that? What's your team leader doing about that? And that was basically their words.
Right.
And so I was just kind of repeating things back to them.
So Tanya, let me ask you a question. What would have to happen for you to be, for you to recognize that there may be other opportunities for you, right? Like, what do you think is standing in the way of you fulfilling the goals that you wanted to do, right? You might say, tell me a little bit about a typical day for you. Do you have a workstation that you sit at? Do you make calls every single day? She's saying here she doesn't have a database, not originally from the area, so no database. Can I tell you what I think about that? How many more freaking days are we going to allow that to be an excuse? Seriously. Like, what are you going to say that for the rest of your freaking life? In all honesty.
Yeah. So is that my job on this? My job is to get her to spill her guts and talk.
No, I want to let you. I want you to understand something. Hang on, I'm trying to figure out how long. It doesn't say how long she's been licensed here, but hey, what we find is that if a person has a well-organized database and they have a strategic communication system in place, much of which could be automated, and they're contacting their people in their database 36 times a year, the research suggests they should have 16 or 1 closing for every 16 people in the database. So if we spent some time working together on creating strategies for building your database and tagging them and delivering custom valuable pieces to them through email and text and video and all of that, do you think that'd be helpful? Oh yeah, nobody's ever done that for me. Great. Robin loves talking about this. I want
Yeah,
to get
so I
you on
sent
her
it.
calendar.
I sent this to Robin because I thought it would be very, very, very good. And then that whole first sentence is really what she said a dozen times. She can't go back into real estate because she doesn't want to half-ass anything. I said it has nothing to
Well,
do
then
with
don't half-ass
half-assing.
it.
It's
Then
I'm
get to
like, there's systems, there's leverage, there's tools and resources, there's a million things you can do
I would
to
tell-
operate in your strengths.
I would encourage her to define those terms. What exactly does half-assing it mean to you? And what would need to happen for you to be able to say, I'm not half-assing it, right?
Right.
So define those terms for me, because what she might be actually saying is, I don't want to just sell 2 homes. Right?
That's exactly what she's saying. She's saying, I don't want to sell 5 homes a year. And I said, well,
So
that's what the average
when are we
agent.
going to make a change? If nothing changes, Tanya, what I've learned is if nothing changes, nothing changes.
So
So
as
I'm
far as
assuming-
getting people to talk, like if I had to guess what was the reason, it's because she cannot go back in real estate because she has had so many painful, awkward conversations with her husband. She's already tried it and failed, and she now herself doubts herself and her own ability. And I just,
So
me,
what
I'm
is
like,
she going to do?
she's getting out of real estate, but she has every ability to do it at a high level. And for one reason or another has missed it. So as far as getting people to talk first, hey, this person's done. She's toast. It's over. Let's move on to the next call. That's what I find so interesting, because if someone's willing to share, it's because they're trying to hang on to something that's dying and they don't want it to die.
Okay, well, what are you willing to do to prevent it from dying? Tanya, I have a really, really important question for you. Oftentimes, a lot of people, they don't become super successful in the business because they don't have a plan and they're not committed to the daily activities that need to happen to hit their goals. And you shared with me, you got a lot of really important goals. Okay, so I got a question for you. If I were to show you the exact game plan that you need to do to meet or exceed your previous sales income, what is the likelihood on a scale of 1 to 10 you would follow that plan verbatim? And she says, well, I don't really want to do that. Then she's probably not worth introducing to Aubrey or Robin. But you might say, hey, well, what is your next option? Like, what are you going to go do? What if you were to leave real estate, what would you do? Well, I'd go back to sitting behind the desk from 9 to 5. Is that what you want? How will you feel when that happens? Right?
Yeah, so that's really kind of my question, though, is like, how much of that is my discussion? How much of that is yours, Robin's, and Aubrey's discussion? Because
in theory, until she says, yes, I'm open to meeting with somebody, it's your discussion.
like you recorded a session and you had multiple phone calls within a 26-minute time period. That conversation right there was 35 minutes. I went for the close at least 3 times, if not 4 times, and was halfway there each time. And I'm like, what in the world is holding you back? I know you want to do it.
Yeah.
And I think it's
and what did she say? What did she say?
It was 3 things over and over again. I don't want to half-ass it. My husband and I are fighting. I just got debt free. I went into debt because of real estate. I can't go back into debt. And I said, you're not half-ass anything. You just need to come in and tweak something. You have everything that it takes to be a successful agent. All these other agents who go into it don't go into it for the right reasons or the skill sets. You have every skill set and the right reasons. And I'm sorry that you're in this rough spot with your husband, but I promise you, if you have the right tools and resources, you're going to meet your goals. But the door is already shutting and she's on her way out, which is, to me, but it's like, I don't know. That's where I don't necessarily want to sit there for 35 minutes. I want a simpler way to get to that 5-minute close.
Well, she's not making any prospecting calls, and that's why she jumped on the opportunity to spend 35 minutes with you. Right? Because
Yeah, well, I mean, she kept trying to hang up the phone, but it's, I just kept her talking. But maybe I should have let her hang up the phone.
I mean, you could, basically the theme of most of my conversations is that I want them to realize that they're not reaching their potential. Tanya, do you believe you're reaching your potential? It looks like you've sold one home in the last 12 months. Do you believe you're reaching your potential? Well, no. So what do you think's standing in the way? I don't know what to do. I don't know who to call. I don't know how to build a database. Great. It sounds like we should meet. When are you available for an in-person meeting or a Zoom meeting? Or, hey, our leadership team is committed every single day to sitting down with local agents and helping them build their business so that they can expand into, reciprocity cities and stuff, right? Go back to her goal. We have an agent at our office whose husband was also giving her a hard time, and she plugged in, right? Her husband was like, when are you going to quit this little hobby of yours? And she plugged in and she got into coaching, right? And she adopted the daily commitments of being a business owner. And you know what happened, Tanya? You know what happened? She made more money than him last year. And she went to him and says, when are you going to quit this little hobby of yours? And then winked at him. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That story's true, by the way. That's Heather Hare, by the way.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a different agent. That's interesting.
Okay. So, hey, I've seen so many people come and go in this business. And when I'm listening to everything you're saying, I just see all these dreams happening for you. And it seems like we should meet. I think I can introduce you to somebody that will potentially help you think about this differently so you can get different results. And they're like, oh, well, I don't know. Okay. Well, do you happen to know anyone else that's looking to grow their business and make more money and save more time? I like that question, right? Because that's insinuating that they don't want that. Justin, do you happen to know anyone else that's looking to double or triple their business next year that I could spend some time with and help?
Probably every agent in the office.
Including me.
Yes.
Or including Tanya, so to speak, right? Well, just kidding. Yeah, that sounds like me. Okay, great. 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. You see what I'm saying? Okay. I'm gonna see if I can't get an appointment while you guys watch me. What have you heard today? Gray, what have you heard today?
Me?
Yeah, what is your feeling
I've
after kind of
All
hearing
of
everything
this is
today?
good. All the objections and answering people's objections. But I really like what you said just a minute ago about let people know you believe in them.
Yeah.
Because when you work for yourself, you're sitting at your own little desk in your own little office, which is often at home. And especially if you have a husband or a significant other saying, that's a dumb thing. You got to help people know, no, you can do this. You can make money. You can live your dreams. I believe in you. Come to these classes. We'll help you get organized.
Yeah, you
We'll
can
help
ask that.
you set goals.
Great observation. You could say like, hey, who in your organization right now is helping you achieve your goals? Right? Isn't that the role of the broker? The broker's job is to figure out what you want, why you want it, show you the plan, and hold you accountable. Let me say that again. The broker's job is to find out what it is you want, right? Why did you choose to get into the real estate business? Secondly is why is that important to you, or what's important to you about that? Well, I want to set up a trust for my granddaughter, or I want to get out of debt. I want a cabin in the mountains, whatever. I don't care what it is. Why is that important to you? Because I grew up and my grandmother had a cabin in the woods, and it's just been on my heart forever. Great. Okay. So now, what plan are you using? What is your model or system in order to get there? What does your economic model look like? What's an economic model? Whoa, you're not familiar with what an economic model is? So how do you know whether you've had a good day or not? Like, do you know how many people you're supposed to speak to each day, or how many appointments you're supposed to go on each week or each month? Do you know about that? Well, no one's ever showed me that. Oh my gosh, that's day one type of material. I can't believe you haven't been exposed to that. Sounds like we should meet. So I've said a lot there. I've also not said a lot there, right? I'm framing that lack in a way that says there is no reason you should have that lack, right? If you're at the right brokerage, they should be teaching you and holding you accountable and all these kind of things every day. And if they're not, no wonder you're not hitting your goals. Does that make sense? Okay. Does anyone have any questions from what I've said or done today so far?
Follow-up system. This was something you talked about a couple of weeks ago that you've been following up for people for 6 years. So for someone like Tanya, where you don't quite get the close, that's fine. You mentioned you've been following up people for 6 years. So maybe Tanya's, just call her every 6 months with something that is, she needs to be doing like a listing presentation with Dustin.
I'd be calling her more often than that. Hey, I know time is of the essence right now. You're trying to determine if you're going to stay in this incredible industry or not. And I just saw the calendar came out and we have this awesome class and I thought of you.
And you're doing that in Excel, you're doing that in a command.
So I'm essentially asking you to do it on this spreadsheet, right? I recruited Candace. She didn't name me the sponsor or anything, but
I already had a sponsor
Yeah,
from
I know.
years ago.
I know. I was just messing with you, right? But I called her 10 times probably.
Yeah.
I was just letting you know. Dude.
I
Right.
was determined to stay where I was and not get help.
And I was determined to expose you to what you needed to see. And once I got a chance to expose you to what you needed to see, you made the decision, not me.
Yeah.
You can't unsee what you've seen, right? So if you get in a room, and they're talking about different stuff, right? You get into the team meeting, let's say with Aubrey, and he's, going through all the systems and tools and models and blah, blah, blah. And he's got the energy he has and the passion he has. And you're sitting in the room and you're like, wait, I haven't ever been a part of a sales meeting like this. Oh my gosh, you guys have those 6 solutions to help a seller, buy before they sell? My broker doesn't do that. Really? Sounds like we should meet. Really? So how is your broker getting, putting you in the right place so that you can compete with tech companies and Keller Williams and all these other companies? What are they doing? Well, they're not really doing much since COVID. Since COVID? Sounds like we should meet. It's very simple, guys. It's very simple. All we're doing is helping them understand that they're not reaching their potential. And then we are asking them to consider something different. It is literally that simple. Okay, so I'm gonna, let's see. What is the details? Hang on one second. Let me think about this for a second. I'm going to use a business plan, okay, first. And I'm just going to call a couple of people here. I've got I'm trying to decide which company I want to call. I'm going to call Solid Source. Okay, now one other thing that you guys should understand is every company is different because they have different value propositions and they have different compensation plans. And people are generally at low cost brokerages. That is Solid Source, Virtual Properties, Maximum One, Palmer House, Home Smart, Fathom. They're at these firms, Solid Source, because they're less expensive, period. So if somebody is a part of that firm, it's not because they get a better value, they get more stuff, it's because it costs less. So we have to bring them to being a business owner. That should be the theme of your conversations, right? And when you bring up the business structures and the business foundations, then then they identify that they're not hearing a lot of that elsewhere. All right, so I know we're kind of tight on time, but let me see if I can make a call or two. All right, so I'm going to reach out to people that are, I'm just going to say, right at about 1 million in sales or more. Okay. Now I am, I've got a couple screens, as you guys know, and so I am Googling a guy named, let's say, Spencer Phillips. Okay, first guy I came to, and I'm looking at his website, so I can kind of see a picture of his a picture of what he looks like. I just have a thing about that, I guess. By the way, Spencer Phillips does not even have a freaking picture. Like, come on. You see what I'm saying? So this guy is clearly not thinking like a business owner. All right, everyone mute themselves for me, okay? Let's see if he wants a business consult.
Has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. Spencer Phillips is not available.
Okay, unless I have a relationship with him, I'm not going to leave a message. If you want to do it differently, you're more than welcome to. Y'all have an extra couple minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, thank you. Don't see this person's. Now, I've said all those questions that I've asked today, like literally thousands of times. That's why it's easy for me to say it. Does it make sense? All right, I don't see her cell phone number. Let me look this way. Okay, so I can also go in and see if she was at Keller Williams. She was at Keller Williams in the past. So it's just something to consider. She might have some feelings about Keller Williams, who knows? One thing I like asking these agents is, has business increased since you made that move?
How do you tell if they were with Keller Williams?
One sec. It's in broker metrics.
Number of the property for which you would like information.
Okay, that's not the right number.
So everyone's kind of focusing on different stuff, right? Because Candace, you're doing a brokerage. Drew is doing ads or responding to ads on behalf of the brokerage.
Okay.
Gray, I don't know what you're focusing on. I was going to do co-scripts.
I wouldn't box yourself in. I would do it all. Give me one sec. I've got a meeting at 11:32, so I'll record some additional calls today and post it. It's time on task though. It's just, you got to keep making the call. You got to do the conversations all the time. As far as the tracking, if you set an appointment with somebody, right, they should go in there. And if they say, well, call me in, 6 months and I'll talk about it then. Okay, write their name down and put, hey, call in 6 months, which means call in 3 months. Okay. Anderson, I'm going to try one more and then I'm going to hop on this call. I feel like I've seen this one before.
Hello, you have reached Mandy Anderson with Solid Source Realty and A+ Appraisals. I'm sorry I missed.
That person has a real estate license and an appraisals license, which tells me they don't have any leads. If they had leads, they wouldn't be an appraiser. That makes sense? If you chase 2 rabbits, you end up with neither one, right? It's interesting that they do that because every minute that they spend on somebody else's, business is less time they have for their own business. All right, let's do one more. Ugh, damn, I didn't even get a single person on the phone for you guys today. That's really disappointing. Let me try.
No, it's all good. It's just,
record them and put them in the chat. I mean, put them in the WhatsApp. We can watch them.
Okay. I'm going to try one more and then that'll be that. That's kind of my MO, is like, okay, one more. Oh, one more.
it's a good MO.
Hello,
Hello, is this Tammy?
it is.
Hey there, Tammy. This is Bill Linkwald with Keller Williams. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for taking my call. I wanted to reach out. I was looking over some numbers and I see that you've had a pretty good year, a couple of transactions, just right around $1 million in volume. Is that right?
Well, yeah, but I'm not actively working in real estate. I'm recuperating from an illness.
Ah, I'm sorry to hear that. Is that something that you expect to get back into at some point, or you're not sure?
Yes, I do. Yes, and I don't know what you're in, but I have moved to Savannah.
Okay.
And I'll retain my Georgia license, but I also have South Carolina license.
Okay. Okay. So, which brokerage are you working for in Savannah?
So I am still with Solid Source. I'm still under their umbrella. Really, just generally anywhere in Georgia I can work with underneath their umbrella.
Okay, so they have like facilities in Savannah for training and meetings and all that?
And well, they don't have anything like that in Savannah. Vast majority of what they do is Zoom, but they do have plenty of trainings and outreach to the agents and Facebooks and YouTube channels and just really every way they can possibly reach out.
Gotcha. So when do you expect, this is probably a sensitive question, but is next year a time that you think you'll be able to get back into it, or?
Well, I was hoping that I would be able to get back in sometime soon. I'm still hoping that. I just need to make sure my body can take the rigors in real estate. And there is.
Of course, of course. Do you have anyone kind of in your world right now that's helping you through a business plan, maybe a refined business plan or an adjusted business plan that'll, make sure you accomplish as much as you can during the limited amount of time that you might be working?
I'm not working at all right now.
Okay.
So I just, I haven't gotten to that point to kind of reevaluate what I can do. I just am not at that stage. And
Gotcha. Well, I'd love just to check in with you periodically and see what I can do to support you. I'm the productivity coach with the Roswell KW office, and I work with a lot of agents like yourself who are, building their business or launching or relaunching their business, and everyone's got certain things that are going on in their lives that cause them to be working really hard or not so hard. And I just want to be available to you to help in any way possible. Would it be okay if I checked in, a couple months? Is that probably a good time?
well, I don't know. I mean, you're in Roswell. I had a really bad experience with a husband when I coupled out of Roswell office a while back.
With a real estate agent?
Yeah, with the real estate transaction. It was not good. Actually, I just got my license.
Is that at Keller Williams, the Keller Williams Roswell agent?
I'm pretty sure it was husband and wife team. I'm pretty sure they were out of Roswell.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they're still here. I don't know what the circumstances were, but I would be calling you to help you with your business. Would you?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how that would work. I mean, I'm not going to be back in that area. Literally, I'm in Savannah for a short time. We're building a home in South Carolina, just off of Hilton Head Island. So, I mean, I don't know how that would work. I will be retaining my license in Georgia, but I will be living in, Hardyville.
Gotcha.
Just to be totally honest with you, so you don't, burn cycles, that way.
No, I get it. I mean, we have resources in Savannah as well. So I just was hoping to keep in touch with you, and I could introduce you ultimately to the leadership there in Savannah if that was something that was something you wanted to consider in the future. And
yeah, well, I mean, I'll be open. I probably will not. I mean, I am still, with Solid Source. And they have a great program. I mean, it's just amazing what they do in terms of commissions and that sort of thing. But I mean, certainly you never know. I never, close doors. I just don't know. So if you would like to keep me in your Rolodex and reach out periodically,
yeah, that's what
that
I'll
would
do.
be fine with me.
Okay, perfect. I'll give you a call in a couple months, and this is my number in case you need something in the meantime. And I wish you all the best. Hopefully your recovery happens as quickly as possible.
All right. Thanks a bunch. I appreciate the call.
Likewise. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, y'all hear that? I probably kept her on the phone a little bit longer than I should have, but
it was good.
It's just
It's
another
good to hear.
promise of somebody to call, right? So that you're just building your database. That's a nurture. That's a pipeline ad, right? All right, I'm going to take the next thing, and I will send you guys some stuff online on our chat. Just please spend some time each and every day reading through these scripts and internalizing some of these questions, and I'll record some more calls. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks.
See you guys.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you.